And going back to Jordan's story, the thing we didn't know about, and only after his death, when we were going through his attic in his house and boxes of possessions, did we find all his notes and information from his CBT sessions some 4 or 5 years earlier. And as we read those and saw the drawings Jordan had made within the notebooks, we realized that the reason why he'd gone for this CBT and the cause of his anxiety and depression at that time was a form of body dysmorphia. This was essentially, let's call them spots or marks around his body that certainly were not really that visible to everyone else, but to the extent that he would not get changed in swimming pool changing rooms. He would not look at himself in shop windows when he walked past or in mirrors. He would put descriptions of how he would essentially pick at these. And part of his CBT was to stop him doing that. And this was Jordan's impression of himself, the guy that everyone looked at and said, what a cool dude. Look how good looking he is. When he walks in that room and does his dance moves, he's the guy that everyone looks at. How I wish I was like Jordan.
Yes.
And yet there, written down in his own words, was Jordan, or his perception of himself.
And that's the almost like a dissonance we have here. We've got these guys who are admired, and we see this in TV and media, people who are admired for their beauty, for their singing, for whatever talent, but inside they've got a silent war that nobody knows anything about. And nobody will know anything about unless they get access to their journals. But oftentimes it is too late. And even I know a lot of people undergoing CBT don't divulge much information, actually. You know, there's enough to get them some treatment and feel a bit better, but some of their deepest, darkest secrets, particularly about themselves, their image of themselves is never divulged. And that is something I'm grappling with, Steve. I'm grappling with, you know, from a mental health point of view as a doctor and someone who's had this body image myself, and I see it in modeling. How do we get more men to talk? How do we get, and women, but particularly talking about men in this instance, because men are much more likely to commit suicide, and it's suicide prevention which really is the crux of the thing I'm grappling with. Because my barber committed suicide 2 years ago. You know, great barber, Italian guy, cut my hair. COVID happened. He opened his own barber shop. He was doing well. Next day, he's not here. And we had no, you know, he was a big strapping lad, you know, funny, you know, he's from Italy originally. Had no idea. And Gary Speed, you know, is a great, well, you know, is a glaring example of that.